Somewhere in Mexico, roughly 2,000 years ago, someone looked at a cactus-like plant, decided to cook it, ferment it, and drink whatever came out. That decision eventually became tequila. But the story of how humans discovered alcohol goes back much further than that, and it says something deeply strange about who we are. Let's start with the plant. Tequila comes from the blue agave, a succulent that takes 8 to 12 years to mature. The ancient peoples of Mesoamerica knew this plant long before they made tequila. The Aztec, the Toltec, and cultures before them harvested agave for food, fiber, medicine, and a fermented drink called pulque, made from the sap of the agave plant. Pulque predates tequila by at least 1,000 years. Some archaeologists believe fermented agave beverages were consumed in the region as far back as 3,500 BCE, that is over 5,000 years ago. But why did they drink it at all? The answer starts not with humans, but with fruit. Evolutionary biologist Robert Dudley developed what he calls the drunken monkey hypothesis. The idea is that our primate ancestors evolved a preference for the smell and taste of ethanol, the alcohol in fermented fruit, because ripe fermenting fruit was the most calorie-dense food available. The faint smell of alcohol meant sugar. Sugar meant energy. Energy meant survival. Over millions of years, a taste for that smell got baked into primate biology. You did not choose to like alcohol. Evolution nudged you toward it before humans existed. When early humans began deliberately fermenting things, they were not inventing a vice. They were following an instinct millions of years in the making. The oldest confirmed evidence of intentional alcohol production is from China. A fermented rice, honey, and fruit drink dating to around 7,000 BCE. Fermented grape residue found in the Zagros Mountains of Iran dates to around 5,400 BCE. Beer residue appears in ancient Sumeria around 3,500 BCE. Everywhere humans settled, they figured out fermentation. Every single time. Back to the agave. The leap from pulque to tequila required distillation, a technology the indigenous peoples of Mesoamerica may have independently developed, or that arrived with Spanish colonizers in the 1500s. Historians still debate this. What is not debated is that the Spanish recognized immediately what the agave could produce. By the 1600s, the first large-scale tequila distillery was operating in what is now the city of Tequila, in the state of Jalisco, Mexico. The drink that had been a local ceremonial and social staple for thousands of years became a global export. Here is what makes the tequila story different from every other alcohol story. The blue agave plant cannot reproduce on its own anymore. Centuries of human cultivation have made it dependent on us. We selectively bred it, harvested it, and farmed it so extensively that the wild agave no longer produces seeds the way it used to. The bat that pollinates it in the wild, the lesser long-nosed bat, is now endangered partly because of how we harvest agave before it flowers. A plant and a human civilization became so entangled over thousands of years that neither is quite what it used to be. So when did ancient humans discover tequila? The honest answer is that they discovered it slowly, over thousands of years, following an instinct that started in the trees before we climbed down from them. The agave was food first, then medicine, then ritual, then a drink that crossed the world. The name changed, the process got refined, but the impulse to take something that grows from the ground and see what happens when you let it ferment, that impulse is as old as we are. Someone was always going to look at that plant and think, what if?